Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Poland Daily History. Today we will be talking to Mr. Artur Górniewski, a tour guide who receives hundreds of international guests every year who all yearn to learn more about Polish history. Together we will explore the locations he takes them on in Warsaw, Poland, and Central Eastern Europe. In the previous episode, you were talking about how the Old Town was reconstructed and some of the very nice buildings and places to see in Old Town. And I was wondering if you were to take your guests around the town, what are the monuments that they usually stop by, take pictures, for those people who are posting their stuff on Facebook, Instagram, what are the places that they have to take a picture with?
Yes, of course. Every single city has this little pearl that everyone wants to take a look at.
Right.
So, for instance, in Copenhagen, there is the famous Little Mermaid.
Of course.
And according to the legend, she had a sibling sister.
Oh.
But the sibling sister was a little bit braver and she went deeper into the Baltic Sea.
Right.
She went deeper into Vistula River and then she met this guy. His name was Vars and her name was Sava. So she stayed in this place, creating a settlement of Vars Sava.
Oh.
So Sava is the mermaid, and the sculpture of the mermaid you will see in the central section of Warsaw's main market square. So she has a shield and a sword, so to protect our city. And during the winter we are ice skating around the mermaid. There is an ice rink and wooden cottages with traditional Polish food and mulled wine and hot chocolate that goes well with hazelnut vodka, but make it double. And then during the summer there is a fountain around the mermaid and children are having fun. The little birds are having a little shower, which is a lot of fun for people. So that's our famous sculpture. Then we continue just straight north to the gate of Barbican. Barbican was a very special fortification system. So in London, in Krakow, in Warsaw, Barbicans, every single time are kinked a little bit left, according to the city walls. And there were a few reasons. First, the one who was entering the first gate didn't know what happens next to the second gate. So it was like, like at the airport, immigration process. And also, it was also much easier to reach by the archers, right-handed swordsmen. So we have this Barbican and doubled city walls over there.
That has like a very good strategical value, as you would mention.
Yes, it had a very strategical value until they invented airplanes and tanks.
Right.
But yes, that's a very good place for local singers as well to stand inside the Barbican because of the acoustic.
Right.
That's just perfect over there, exactly. So then we walk out, we see another churches. And also we see an original building where Maria Skłodowska was born. Maria Skłodowska, wait a second, who she was.
It rings a bell.
It rings a bell. The first, she emigrated from Warsaw to Paris. She became first female professor of Sorbonne University. She became first female Nobel Prize winner. And till nowadays, the only lady who got 2 Nobel Prizes in 2 different branches of science.
Of course.
Madame Curie. And there is a museum opened on 100th anniversary of her birth, so the museum was opened in 1967. It's an about half-hour museum, and then we can either continue to the new town and the river Scarp to enjoy summer fountain concerts, which are amazing, or we are turning left to see the monument of Warsaw Uprising 1944. When it comes to the size of the monument, it's the biggest in the city. It consists of 2 parts, how Warsaw Uprising started and how Warsaw Uprising ended. And this is when we can tell about a boy who wanted to leave his parents, leave his house in August 1944. And when he informed his parents that he's going to participate in Warsaw Uprising 1944, his father would reply, don't let them kill you in an easy way, which was a goodbye. I will never see you again. And this is a moment when our guests from all around the world have this possibility to acknowledge how important freedom is for us.
Yes.
Because when Warsaw Uprising started, we did it because we didn't want to owe our freedom to anyone. We wanted to pay for it ourselves.
The Polish Supreme Court is located right behind the Warsaw Uprising Monument. Other historical buildings, such as the Krasinski Palace and the Field Cathedral of the Polish Army, are located in the immediate vicinity. Next up, we will ask Mr. Górniewski about the historical gems in this part of the city.
So as you were saying, the area around the Warsaw Uprising Monument has very great historical importance for the Poles. And I was wondering what else in the vicinity that you usually take your guests to.
That's a great place to spend some time. The monument itself is connected with the architecture of our Supreme Court. So the columns of the Supreme Court that include the element of justice and the 74 ancient Roman laws respected in the Roman Empire and now repeated by today's lawyers. And these columns are connected, they are still the same when the area of the monument starts, but they include not a symbol of justice, but a symbol of Polish independence. P letter with an anchor below.
Right.
So the will of Poland of staying in this place after World War II, the symbol of Polish resistance, the symbol of Warsaw Uprising 1944, and the symbol that's protected by ours nowadays law. So there are no more ancient Roman laws written on these columns, but names of groups, units, fighting the Nazis during Warsaw Uprising 1944. And then when we take a look around, there is our military church, which has amazing interiors. It's not a very big church, but it just looks amazing. Just taking a look over there gives an amazing experience to our guests. And then when we continue looking around, there is Krasinski Palace, which was destroyed during World War II because Polish soldiers were using it as a fortification when people of the old town were escaping using sewer system right behind the palace. So the palace was destroyed step by step.
Of course.
And then the palace is almost connected with our Supreme Court, and then there is a tunnel for the cars and the buses in the Supreme Court, and this is how we can take 600, well, of course, 360 degrees turn around, so to look at only interesting places over there.
So I was walking down the old town, the places that you were described, and very breathtaking, by the way. One thing that I noticed were the benches that plays music. Is there any specific reason for it, or is it just for atmosphere building?
Well, and it's right over there, the Frederick Chopin bench, as we call it, you saw.
All right.
We press the button, it plays Frederick Chopin music. Why? Very good question. So there are Frederick Chopin benches all along the royal route, but the first or the last one is right over there at Krasinski Square in front of the monument of Warsaw Uprising 1944.
As we have seen today, traveling is an integral part of learning history. Through the eyes of a tourist, given historical context by a guide, we were able to learn the events that shaped Poland and its culture. I'm your host, Benjamin Lee, and I'll see you next time on Poland Daily History.